not no more.
That's what's up.
It says what?
It was counting down.
Oh, okay.
We good now.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh. Here we go.
Maybe to read the comments, because I can't see who's watching. Just maybe to look on his phone.
Got 7 people with us. Hey!
Hey!
Appreciate y'all watching. Before we get started, if y'all could like and share the video,
Share.
I can't see who's watching. We're having technical difficulties this week, so forgive us. We're always having some kind of technical difficulties. Anyway, I see Rod, I see Wayne, Kelly Sharkley, what's up? What up, Pee Wee? What's up, Kylie? Anyway, tonight's topic is thought logic. We don't have to get more in depth about what that means. It's a term that Coach Severs, aka Brian Angel, and I coined. What up, Andrika? But first, before we do that, as we always start the show out, what up, DD? What the fuck, Chuck, is what we gonna do first. And there's I gotta cut the music for this one. There's a serious problem that some men have, right? And I was made aware of this.
Erectile dysfunction?
No. This is actually worse than erectile dysfunction right here. I was talking to a friend, and she was saying how she was not pleased with her man, right?
Okay.
This dude doesn't last very long in the bedroom area, right? And the problem is...
We got a quick trigger. We got a hair trigger.
Bow!
Oh!
Bow!
Talk to me. Oh, I'm coming. Damn.
Anyway, I'm trying to, give us some suggestions to help the young man out, right? So I'm like, why don't you tell him he need to, do some masturbation or something, right? So she tells me this dude cannot masturbate. I'm like, what?
Huh?
What does that mean?
What?
Yeah.
Define, I can't masturbate. Well, okay.
Hold on.
Okay,
See, this is where the problem comes in, right? Because the dude evidently worked in some kind of steel plant or something, and now his hands messed up, and they real, scaly and rough and all of that. So when he does, it gets cut up.
Is she watching?
No.
Well, you tell her he can go to one of them damn stores, get him a old pocket or a fake. Get him lube and he can go to goddamn town. That's another way. Hey, it's more than you damn you shucking your corn with your hands.
So what if she does? I mean, since
she is a very frustrated woman.
But I understand what she's saying, because look, dude can't get his rocks off, and you don't know how long it's been built up, and he ain't had none. But see, as a male, you learn that art when you're in your teens.
that is true.
Yeah, but see, now this man worked this plant. He don't want to. I understand.
He
rubbed some skin off.
Man,
it's gonna be some problem. And what if she want him?
Woo.
And then them scab. You had a scab on when it starts stretching. Yeah, think about that. Somebody make you. Well, you wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking about that. So if he get happy, oh shit, no.
Yeah.
And she'll be upset. Well, why you can't?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I got goddamn crocodile hands and I've been shucking my corn and I've been fucking this shit up.
So I'm curious, what did you suggest to her to help resolve?
I'm saying what she said. I didn't know what to say at that point because I didn't have any answers for that.
I'm giving him the solution to give her Tell him to go get him
a pocket rocket.
Yeah, he go get
not
something.
a pocket rocket. That's for women. One of the fleshlights.
Well, fleshlight fake was it?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Has she talked to him about this? Because
Yeah.
it seems like this is a concern for her.
Yeah. Kelly Sharpley. Well, Dee Dee said that sounds painful. Dee Dee,
Yeah, it does sound
yes,
painful.
you are right. And Kelly said lots of things he can use. Less expensive ideas are fruit and vegetables.
Oh, goddamn. Oh, like a girl.
Oh yeah, with the pineapple challenge, or was it what was
She
it?
was the pineapple. She was showing the ladies how to do it with pineapple.
Yeah. No, it was grapefruit. That's what it was.
Whatever her
The
nasty
grapefruit
ass is
challenge.
doing.
Yeah, he can do the grapefruit challenge on himself. Oh, that's
Yeah, I think you need to retract that goddamn shit right now.
my bad. I apologize. What up, Greta? All right, so that was the what the fuck, Chuck. I'm gonna leave that where it is, cause
Wow.
yeah, I heard that and I was just like, what the fuck? Anyway, okay,
Can I say this for the dude?
go ahead.
You gotta be more than a 1 minute man and shit.
Man, you gotta be.
Yeah,
You gotta be.
Look here, on top of that, you get talked about. You know who she talked to, girl? How was it? Girl,
Man.
That nigga went eat 30 seconds up in the motherfucker.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? I couldn't even get mine.
Man. Dee Dee said he gonna have to get him some gloves and some baby oil. With some dishwashing gloves.
Yeah, it seems like he made
Oh, damn, but that came in on the right time and my hat fucked it up because you about right, Dee Dee. He gonna have to get some palm olive and some motherfucking some of them serving gloves and just lube the fuck out of him and get his endurance up. Cause any girl
man.
he go in there talking about some
Yeah.
Damn, nigga, you just put it in, you know?
Mm.
You got to be more careful.
She's going to have to get inventive.
Inventive?
Yes.
Man, that ain't too.
Now,
When the dude
let me
can't
tell you,
last
that's
but a
something on
couple
him.
minutes, Yeah.
Yeah, that's something on him.
He gotta
She got to
get-
realize that that's going to be a deal breaker for her. I mean, because apparently
It's gonna be-
it's a deal breaker because she went to you for it. And I'm hoping she's going to her mate about it as well. Because, I mean, if he don't know if she's not satisfied, then that means he needs to step it up.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
he
just
gotta
saying.
do something. Charlene, what up? What up, Kelvin? All right, so now we're gonna move into some interesting topics, things that have been happening this week. First and foremost, on this day in 2010, Michael Jackson passed away. So we want
It
to
was
say,
2010.
yeah, it's been 7
Boy.
years. It's been 7 years since Mike has been gone. So we want to say rest in peace to Michael Jackson. I was actually playing his music. I was playing the Thriller album and the Invincible album earlier. And, you know, just commemorating, you know, remembering all that kind of good stuff. So I want to ask my illustrious panel, what is your favorite Michael Jackson song? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even introduce everybody. First of all, we got the noble himself, Anton Birch.
Party
and
people.
today our special guest, because the Queen declined to be a part of the show. She, you know, she doesn't really like the topic. But anyway, we have Miss Felicia Cotton with us. And if you're watching, please like and share the video. All right, that being said, what is your favorite Michael Jackson song?
Michael Jackson has so many. It's hard to name just one.
Okay, well, two then. Name your two favorites.
I
One that you
think
can put on
Thriller
anytime.
It's one of my favorite. And
'Cause it's a thriller.
yeah, and I would say, what is that song he collabed with
McCartney.
no, Chris Tucker.
Oh, You Rock My World.
Yes.
You rock my world.
Those are my two favorites. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna let you have those right there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
those
go
are definitely
back.
not my
I'm
two
gonna go back
favorites.
before Mike was even gotten into the stuff. Actually, anything off the wall.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, that was-
anything.
yeah,
And then
that was-
I'm
No,
partial.
you can't just say the whole
Man.
album. What's your favorite song off the wall?
That's hard because Heartbreak Hotel was not on that.
Man, oh, but that was a Jackson 5 song. That wasn't just Michael Jackson.
And no, that song actually was just him.
It was just him? I
It
thought
was just him.
Jackson
Heartbreak
5.
Hotel
Okay,
came
okay.
after Off the Wall. It was just released by itself.
Yeah.
Um,
Hotel.
First and foremost, actually from the Thriller album is Lady in My Life.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is up there. But gosh, Off the Wall album.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot. I mean, I Want to Ride With You. I mean, but it's another one on there too, man. Gosh, I can't even think right now.
You got me working day and night.
No.
When you have MJ, it's hard to just have just one favorite.
Don't stop till you get it. No, it's a lot, man.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Off the Wall, my dad had it on 8-track, so you know I'm kind of partial, but that's when I started loving Mike. And that album, I mean, having canvassed all of them, that is my favorite.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's one of the best albums in history. Coco Reese said "Human Nature." What up, Coco? Thank you for watching.
What up, Coco?
Regina? What's up, yeah, Crowder? Thank y'all for tuning in. All right, my favorite, and I can't narrow it down to one either. I told y'all to do that, but I can't do it. Look, I like "Human Nature." What's the Free Willy song? Hold me like the river joy.
I think it's called Free Willy. Yeah, I think it's called Free Willy.
No, I'll Be There. That's the name of it. I will be there for you. And then, dang, I like Butterflies. When we talk
I
about,
like them too, but I like Butterflies, but I can't.
and I'm trying like what you said about most of the Off the Wall album, but I Want to Rock With You is probably my favorite one off the wall.
Man, it's so much.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, and then Mama Say, Mama Say, Mama Kusa, Mama Say, Mama Say, Mama Kusa. That song, I don't know what song was that? You Want to Be Starting Something? Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
That could be.
Yeah. Anyway, Mike got a host of hits that just, like we say, you can't just narrow them down. Anyway, what's y'all's? Didi said they don't really. All I wanna know is that they don't really care about it. I like the remix though with that deep bass line. Yeah, that was a hot song too.
Yeah, I like that song.
I'm finna be petty. We didn't do this with my man Prince. We had his death anniversary.
But we talked about Prince though.
We talked about like this. My favorite song.
Somebody is in his feelings.
Yeah, I'm
about
finna be
Prince.
petty. No.
Look, I'm a bigger Michael Jackson fan than I am Prince. So who y'all got? Everybody watching now, who you got? Michael Jackson or Prince? Who is your favorite?
I would have to go with Prince because I was trying to see him in concert before he passed, and unfortunately, I was not able to go. And
man, can wear her clothes and get your girl and
Right.
can sing it off her ass. If I told you, babe.
Yeah. Prince is the only person that can sing "Damn You," and Prince can cuss you out in a song, and you love it.
I hate you, and he talk about it so bad. I hate you, but I love you, and he went off on old girl, but the girl probably like, I hate you too.
He's the only guy that could wear heels and could get away with that.
And a Halle Berry haircut, and then he has some pants with his booty out.
Yes.
And women love it.
Oh yes. I mean,
That
that's
nigga wear
Prince.
sequins and will say,
Only Prince can get away with
would you
that.
like to be purified in the lakes
Hey,
of tongue?
Regina said "Sexy MF."
Yes.
Yeah. And Pee Wee with me. Thank you, Pee Wee. He got Michael Jackson.
I ain't listening to you.
Alright, we gonna push on past that.
Yeah,
but yeah, y'all let us know who you
debate
got, Prince
forever.
or Michael Jackson. Let us know what is your favorite Michael Jackson song also.
Lady Cab Driver. That ain't Michael.
No, that ain't Michael.
Hey, yeah, tax it.
Alright, so now I'm gonna switch and get to a more somber note. Because last week we talked about Philando Castile and the verdict that came down in his case, right?
Yeah.
However, at the beginning of this week, there were two videos that were released. They had a video of the dash cam, and then they had a video inside the police officer's car, right? And it was hard for me to watch either one of those videos, right? Like just watching him get murdered all over again was heartbreaking. And then to see the little girl in the car with her mama done nothing wrong, in handcuffs, and the little girl begging and pleading with her mama, I don't want you to get shot. She said shoot it, but I don't want you to get shot.
And I'm going to say this to even drive the point home even further. Earlier I was on and I was reading that the black dude that shot the little cop dog got 25 years.
25 for shooting a cop dog.
In essence, you niggas' life ain't worth more than a fucking dog.
No,
That's-
not at all.
I mean, it feel like it add fire to that wound because here a man got murdered and the justice had failed them. And you can see how everybody was outward. But some people said that he should have had his hands out. And I just don't understand how can he have his hands out when he's reaching for his wallet.
The police officer told him to get his ID. And when he reached for his ID, that's when he shot him 7 times. And then he shot into the car with his family in the car.
7. Look, man, they just had a video even of a white dude disobeying the cops, and they wrestling him, but they ain't pull out no goddamn gun to shoot him.
Right.
Man. So
and
I don't want to hear about he should have had his hands out, man. I mean, I understand.
It's crazy because I mean, I have 2 nephews, and they both driving. So how do we teach our kids to follow the system if they're gonna get?
And then how do we teach them to have respect for the law and there is no law?
Yeah. Hi, Queen.
She said,
Say what?
what she say?
I don't know. That was the queen. She came in for a second. Anyway. Back to what we were talking about. Yeah, how you gonna teach respect for the law if your life can be taken and your life is worth nothing in their eyes? You know, not to say that people should go kill cops or anything like that, but it's just, you know.
I'm just curious. I don't know if you guys heard about it. An off-duty officer.
I was gonna talk about that next. That's in St. Louis. All right. So next story. There was an off-duty officer who happened to be an African American who showed up. Was it a crime scene?
Well, it was a domestic dispute. It was something going on down the street from his house.
Yeah, and he goes down there and checks on it.
Off duty, you know.
Yeah, no badge, none of that. But a Caucasian police officer pulls up and shoots him. Well, it was no questions asked, really. Nothing really said. He was in fear for his life. And I'm sure that's what the defense is going to be. That's what they always say. I was in fear of my life.
When he went down there, I was reading the article. They say he went down there. The off-duty officer identified himself as a officer, but all this white dudes seen as a black guy.
Yep,
and then he put out a gun and shot him. Thankfully, he's alive. He had non-life-threatening injuries, so he was able to, walk away from it. But it goes back to what's been happening. How is it justified that a black man is considered dangerous or a threat? So I don't get that. He's suing, and the attorney for the cop who shot him, he said that he was fearful of his life.
That's the same defense they always use, though. Like it don't change. From one cop shooting a black man to a cop shooting another black man, it's always the same defense. I was in fear of my life.
So my question is, should the chief step down if he feel like if he's incompetent of running his police department? Because the chief makes the decision who can leave and who can stay.
Yeah.
The DA just investigated.
Yeah.
So if the chief seeing something wrong within his department, is it his job that he's supposed to say this is something that...
The problem is not necessarily the chief. The problem is the system itself. Because it's not just the chief that says this. It's not just the DA that says this. It's not just the average Caucasian cop that says it. It's the average Caucasian and the average black person. It's every person that watches television, reads magazines, looks at videos, whatever. We are taught from a young age to fear black men, especially. Fear blackness as a whole, but black men especially, right? So that being said, it's going to start with everybody changing their attitude about black men in particular and black people in particular.
Yes, I agree with you on that, but I think also if the chief steps up and say, hey, this is not what goes on in my department, because right now the system has failed everyone, especially black people. And I feel like if the chief step up and say this is not going to be acceptable in my department, because it just takes one person to take a stand and say I'm not going to accept that. I think the way we view the police would probably change.
The problem with that is most of the time when you have whistleblowers within the blue code of justice, they get terminated. They find a way to terminate them. And it doesn't matter whether it's the chief or whoever it is. If you're a whistleblower, they're going to get rid of you.
That's
period.
true.
Like, they don't want to hear, they don't want to see within the department. They want closed lips. They want loose lips sink ships. So anytime you see somebody that fights on the side of true justice, that's when you start having a problem. All right, we're going to push past that. And the Senate this week came out with their latest proposal for healthcare reform. And like we figured, 24 million or so people. Well, they don't know exactly how many, but people will be losing their health care. Healthcare will go up. Everything that we've been told about it. However, what I saw on the news, it was probably one of the more disturbing images that I've ever seen, is people protesting out of the Senate Majority Leader, outside of the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's office. And it's handicapped people that are out there protesting, right? And the police are dragging them away. They dragging them off, dragging a bunch of handicapped people in wheelchairs. They're dragging them off. And like the reason why it was so disturbing is because, number one, these people are not in a physical condition to pose any resistance. And they're not out there being violent. They're not out there doing anything. Like, what happened to our right to protest? That's protected by the Constitution. With the Second Amendment of the Constitution is protecting our right to protest.
But that is true. But you have to understand when they doing that, they raising an eyebrow. So if anything that's getting attention, it makes you question, they're going to try to get rid of you as much as they can. And I'm not saying what they doing is right, because, they do have the right to be out there. But they making a statement. Their silence is that, look what you're doing to someone that's like us. Because most of the people that was protesting was not handicapped. They were just sitting in demonstrating the people who's going to have potential of getting cut.
I saw some like real handicapped.
I didn't
people
see it, so I'm glad I didn't, man.
It's really it's disturbing to watch. And then like, okay, if you were one of the police officers, what kind of conscience do you have to drag off handicapped people? Like, to me, I don't know. Like, that's just something. If that was my job, I don't know that I could do my job on that day.
They just doing the job. There's something that they take an oath when they finish the academy. They have their brothers and sisters back. It's
oath or not, some stuff. Okay, some stuff as a man, I'm not gonna tolerate, and then some stuff, I'm just not gonna do. I would give you a story, but it would take away from the conversation. But especially when it comes to people like that are just voicing their opinion, I don't know that I could drag somebody off like that.
Yeah, because I say it like this: when you are doing a job such as a police officer, it's like they train them to not have a conscience or have feelings. You get out there, you do what you're supposed to do, either if it's moral or immorally. They tell them you're out there to do a job. And that's why I say, I don't know, me personally, I could not be a cop, because the profession that I'm in is even more heartful. And, and it's just, some things is just like, what do you do? Because they just say, I got to feed my family, so this is what I'm going to do. So I always say police officers should do a mental evaluation when they are applying for these type of jobs.
Yeah. Keita Cotton said we must vote locally.
That's
absolutely the truth.
I agree with you.
The presidential election is one thing, but your local elections are probably the more important thing. And here in Chattanooga, like, some elections had less than 1,000 people, or less than 1,000 votes to win that seat.
Yep.
So if you're able, please get out and go vote. All right. all that being said, we're gonna get into our topic this evening. And this topic caused a little bit of controversy when we were when I sent out the questions and everything to everybody over the week, right? And I think it's because of the term thought that was used, but the topic is thought logic, right? So, like I said earlier, it came from a conversation that me and Brian Angel were having, right? And basically, we were talking about the mentality that a lot of people have. People, not just women, not just men, but a lot of people have, right? But first, before we get into the conversation, I gotta ask the question: what is a thought?
You know, I ain't gonna even lie. I really never know, but I can associate it with being.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying.
That's what it is. Like it's an acronym though. THOT stands for that hoe over there.
Yeah, I
Or
know the acronym. I was just like, okay.
If there's more than one, it's them hoes over there, right? So if you want to pluralize it, yeah. I mean, and you know, it's a term that gets thrown around loosely, right? So the thought basically is a whore, right? But my question is, because we got to drill down and we got to ask the hard questions, is what is a whore? Like, what makes a man or a woman a whore?
I'm impartial to that, meaning this thrown on us.
Okay.
Somebody that'll fuck everybody and do whatever.
That's
I mean, but it's always given to women, and they're frowned upon, you know. But as men,
it's
just
considered like
whatever, you know. It's just like that nigga a hoe. And you look at a woman, you're like that nigga a hoe, you know.
right.
Yeah.
It's a double standard.
It's a double standard, like a what?
It is, because I mean, I think a thought goes both ways, like men and women. But when men do it and they have multiple women and sleeping with multiple women, that makes that a man hoe, pretty much. And when a woman does it, they get dragged through the mud saying she a bitch, you know, she a hoe, you know, all of these things. But it's more accepting to me. It is. It kind of gets me a little adrenaline a little bit. But it's like, why is this that double standard? Why is it considered okay for a man to do it but not a woman to do it?
Okay, this is my question before we even get to that question right there, because how do you determine who's a hoe and who's not a hoe? I mean, because think about it, like, most of us are not in the bedroom with these people that we consider hoes or not. But how many people, or, you know, what is it that...
You don't know, man.
If you entertaining it, that makes it just as bad. Because you are entertaining it. Because I feel like most of these women won't do the things that they're doing if men and women don't entertain it. So,
but by nature we're weak for y'all.
yes.
I mean, you can all you want to. You take it back to the biblical days, how we fell for the apple tree. We fall for the banana in the tent like we're weak. That feeling.
Yeah, I mean,
this something right here, man.
it's true. But I mean,
and a lot of dudes are probably like, that nigga bitch, man. No, look at yourself, goddammit.
Because I said,
Except for those that want the Cheerio. Sorry, they don't.
but I mean, it's entertaining, and it's like, excuse my language, but it's just like that song, "Fuck It Up."
Fuck it up, fuck it up.
So, how many women has danced to that song? And
it's a whole challenge out there. You can go pull up
What challenge?
a bunch of
it's called "Fuck
the
It
Fuck It
Up."
Up challenge.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it's a whole
I guess
bunch
I'm
of like
behind like a
videos.
motherfucker. I guess I just don't pay
And
attention.
it's me being a woman myself. You know,
You
I feel like
laughing,
you
though.
should
been
carry
watching
yourself.
the Fucking Up challenge.
Yeah, I seen it.
No,
So
man,
I'm
don't
like,
shake your head. You laugh.
Don't
It's
put
on
it on
video,
the
too.
spot now.
They don't know what I'm talking to. See, you incriminating somebody.
I didn't say a name. I just said do not put him
Yeah, I ain't put him
on
on the spot.
Mm.
the spot. But yeah, I feel like a thought is something that, you know, it would not exist if it's not entertained.
So, okay, if it's not entertained,
Yes.
okay.
But
Go ahead. Go ahead.
how can you not entertain it? I mean, this goes back to what I said about people and their kinky fetishes, man. Some people out there gotta have it,
And that's true.
and they will go to any lengths to get it.
That is true. It can be considered an addiction.
And to most of them, it ain't gotta be a lot,
Would you agree with?
or maybe they just want to.
Would it be considered an addiction?
In some cases, yeah. I don't think in every
Hey,
case.
I don't give a damn what people say. If I'm getting some ass, that's some good addiction. I'd rather be addicted to that than anything else. No, I'm just saying. I mean, yeah, all seriousness, man, but it can. Because it came up earlier this week on another show that I listened to, a sports show, where Tiger, I guess he veiled, said that he was going to seek addiction. He has a sex problem.
Who was that?
Tiger.
Tiger Woods?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, that's when
Tiger.
he had an encounter with his.
That just means you like them tacos.
Yeah,
Like most real good red-blooded American men do.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna read what Erica Payne Krause just put out. He said, "Thought is a derogatory term men use for women. No, men have been called thoughts too. What do you call men? Can't just ask what's mentality of a thought, because that's just a discussion on women.
Well, you can go back old school, a mannish ass nigga.
Yeah, they're man whores and they're female whores out there. So what's the mentality of a hoe? Not a thought. Because I've heard men be called thoughts quite frequently. So the question of the mentality of a thought only adds to the idea that women can be called a hoe while men get off scot-free. However, like I just said, men can be called a thought.
But why is
Men
that?
have
Why
been
we
called
get off
thoughts.
scot-free? You know, that's just been embedded in us, man. The same thing. Shit. I've just never understood it. I mean, I'm just not one of those say, shit, if I'm a hoe, I'm a hoe. Just
So-
like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? So,
It's
what?
a female thought. Would you date that thought?
I guess it's
No.
That would be. Hell.
Wait, you said no.
Oh.
So why do we entertain it?
He said it like the dude.
No.
Oh, was like no.
So why do we entertain it? Because if thoughts wouldn't exist, again, going back
It's
to
the
my
easy
point.
way out.
But see, if they get a gullible,
Dealing with a thought is the easy way out.
if they get a gullible dude that don't know, that ain't been experienced and know the angle, you know, they will settle down for that.
See, a real man
And then
ain't gonna
that
put
still
up
be
with
a
thought
thought.
behavior.
And that could go both ways.
So what if that thought changed their behavior?
Well, good for that
Shit.
thought.
You know what? You know what changed that behavior? You talking about the thought changing their behavior?
Hey,
So they find the right way.
Kadi said, please. I see plenty of thoughts getting wifed up.
I'm with you. Yes.
Well, hey, that's
because they don't put something on them boys, and they ain't never.
That's
But that's the
They
same
get
That's
thing
good
that
marketing.
You being
Experienced
told a hoe
dudes.
into a house.
that's good
Right.
marketing. That's all that is.
Hey, I tried, but I can't. Shit,
It's-
that's black mark on my goddamn self.
Okay, so hold on.
Because we can get deep into that one.
Right?
we can,
There's a lot of legs to this damn topic.
so I thought know how to boil water. All of a sudden, she housewife material.
Right. I
No.
mean, it's plenty of them though.
She
I
know how to give herself a hooker bath. That's about it.
Yep, but I mean,
And the dudes,
But-
them too, they know how to give themselves a
it's
hooker
those
bath.
good boys that like those thoughts behavior.
It's the same way.
Yeah.
It
But a
goes the
nigga
same
like-
way. Good
So-
girls that like them motherfucking thought behaviors is bad.
Yeah, they like
The
bad boys.
the fuckers that live on the edge.
Brothers deal with
Basically.
thoughts through the
Yeah,
lean
I
times.
agree with that.
Hey.
All right, so hold on, because we started talking about it and we didn't really get into it. I want to know, why is there a difference for men and for women?
That's
like,
the
what's the reason?
Do you want me to say with my illogical logic?
Go ahead.
Speak on it, bro.
Don't let the cat get the tongue.
I don't know. I'm trying. You know, I could get loose, but I'm trying to be good today.
Why you?
You know how they
today?
talk about shit gets used or worn out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, us, we can't put the vinegar and shit to get ourselves all tight and sewn back up again. You know what I'm saying? Our shit just it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally think that people say that because a woman be used up. Don't no man want to fall in that bitch. Everybody ain't getting it. That motherfucker might be a Vienna Saunders. Thought, she just whatever. He could be a good dude. She just be using money.
So on the flip side of
But
that,
that's my personal opinion.
on the flip side, yes, because when a woman do have a lot of multiple sex partners,
Right.
you know, their vagina walls are expanded.
Right.
So that lets a guy know how much of a partners that they have
Right.
without disclosing that information. But with the men,
You can't
you
tell.
can't tell. So
We just horny.
only
Head and feet. The
a
blood.
man you can tell because if you do your research, and I'm a research
What?
type of
Because
person.
okay, so if y'all ain't been together, I've heard this and tell me if I'm wrong. If y'all ain't been together, and he fucking shit, he didn't come fast or something, or didn't come soon. They could be jacking the fuck off.
Yeah, if the
He
dude
gotta be.
if he's jacking off, they'll lose so much of their penis skin. So that gives you an indication of how much penetration
You
that
got a
they
way to
have.
measure it?
Goddamn. So you'll be like, wait a minute, you've been jacking off for fucking. Let me see how much skin you done lost.
Because it
But I'm
It
just
is.
saying.
is.
But alright, so are you gonna take time out?
I'm not saying I take time out. No.
Right. You gonna
But
have your
you can't
Hold on,
expected
hold on, because Erica Payne Krause just asked the question: why are they being called a hoe? Because
Right.
they date a lot, sleep with who they want.
Right.
Because I said, but did they act? Hold up, like they were in a committed relationship with these people? If not, why call them anything? If it's none of anyone's business what they do.
Right.
I think it comes from men being mad because there are other folks getting it from her and they are not.
Well,
I think men just
you got
like,
some that are easy though, Erica. That just everybody and I guess hoes have standards too. I'm not gonna fuck that motherfucker.
I
I'm
think
just saying.
men like to feel like they can put it down, quote unquote, that so they feel like they can have multiple women at their leisure. But if a woman does it,
But you got some that
they,
they can put it down, and y'all like to talk. They can't put it down, but he got multiple women.
But if he got the mouth, then it's okay.
Oh, see, there we go to the mouth.
I'm just saying.
Mouthpiece.
Nigga, I can't fuck it.
Mouthpiece. All right, so hold on, because I'm finna go back to Erica's comment / question that she asked. So, all right, if a woman is sexually
Promiscuous.
not even promiscuous, but like sexually aware and sexually advanced, does that put her in the thought category?
No, sexually advanced. I mean, this is just people perception on how we've been taught. Somebody that fucks with a different dude, but hey, it is what it is. You can say that for dudes.
Yeah,
if she
you
sexually
can.
advanced, I want somebody.
Because I've been known a lot of my friends that, because men talk just like women talk, and
Y'all talk worse.
And when we talk,
They say we bad. Y'all the worst.
it's about even.
Oh, shitting me.
Because men can feel like it's considered okay because you know what I'm saying, they are men. You hear the word men gonna do what they gonna do. But when a woman does it, it's considered that they're a hoe, and it's like, oh, I can't. If I do get with her, it's just gonna be for this only.
No, that's what we've been taught. But that's what we've been taught, and that's why I have that's why I think the reason it is the way it is because of what I said.
Yeah.
I mean, just being
okay. I'm gonna say this because I think you own to something. Like, we do get taught a perception of what a man is and what a woman is, right? Yeah, and I think a lot of it, like a woman can. I've seen females be called a hoe and only had one, maybe two sexual partners. That clearly does not make you a hoe. It may make you horny or whatever, which is. There's nothing wrong with that.
Man. You can fuck every day, but if you fucking a different motherfucker every day.
So
male or female.
Yes, male or female. That you goddamn.
But I have a question. So how is it that if this person is a thought? Is it based off of what someone else said?
Right.
That's what they gonna put it out there.
So if somebody that I know, and if they say, oh, you should not mess with him because he's a thought, he's a hoe, because he mess around with all these different types of women. So could be considered as hating?
It depends. Now I will say this: as far as going into opinions, you got to know people that are close to them. It was just some random out. Yeah, I just heard that. Well, I don't need you just heard. Now, if it's somebody that's close or you know this associated with somebody they know, and they say that more than one person, yeah, it might be different.
Look, I'm gonna read what Pee Wee said. He said it's a cultural thing. I'm gonna go back further than what Pee Wee said. It's a cultural thing. Black women in early America dealt with the shortage of men, which led to men having the ability to take on multiple women, even families, i.e. fences. Women learned to focus on the positive, like, well, he's taking care of home. And in all honesty, it goes back further than that, which is where we get the term stud from. Right? You know, it originally meant horses, but like in slavery times, they would make black men studs, and they would, as many women as they could get them to breed with, was what they were doing. And so now that we have asked where it comes from, we see where it originally comes from, right? It originally comes from our enslavement, which at this point, you know, I don't want to say it's part of our DNA.
Scrapping bucks.
But now the question is, how do we get that mentality away from us?
I don't have to worry.
I mean, how do we get the name calling away from
People
us?
got to be open-minded, man. But they're not. That's just society and the way we're taught. I really could give a fuck. Get yours, baby.
I think it just depends on the individual. Because me personally, if I see a young lady that's acting hoish or thottish, whatever you want to call it, I go to that young lady. That's like, why are you doing what you're doing? Are you seeking attention? And I said, because I said, if I say men and women, if you see this type of behavior, and I said that could be somebody that your son going to be dating. Your daughter could be dating somebody's man, because all about is respect. Because if you have respect for yourself, you will not accept them thought behavior.
Well, you're right, but the person could be an info.
I mean, because I said, well, you know better, you do better.
What if you're an info? You
All
just
right.
like it.
Hold on. Because it's a difference, I think, and we're kind of missing the point. Like, okay, if somebody, and this is just my opinion right here, if somebody is a whore, male or female, it's a lot of stuff that's on display, right, that's put in people's faces, right? If you're a nympho, if you just enjoy sex or you're sexually enlightened or whatever, then I feel like the sexual part of it can be covered up.
The mask gonna eventually come up, though.
I mean, it's gonna come off, but it doesn't have to come off to the general public like that.
Our teachers of a nympho is somebody's got to have it. So can they be a hoe? Because a nympho could fuck different people every day.
But it's their reputation out there. So when it's your reputation out there, you have to clean it up. And I feel like in order to clean up that reputation, someone should go to them and let them know what they're doing. Because some people don't know if they're doing what they do.
It's just like you may like chocolate Skittles. And then you just want them. And you got to have it.
And then that's something within...
Everybody's got a vice.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you ain't fucked up with it, then why? Then you know what I'm saying, to hostage somebody else, you know what I'm saying, to have the right to come in and you know what I'm saying, and saying, you know, chastise or correct your behavior.
Everybody learns at their different times, you know. If you know, but for me personally, if you don't want to be labeled, because in conversation this may be a little off topic, but it just goes in concise of what we're talking about. But if you're a single trying to look for a significant other, if your name out there is a thought, then maybe you need to change the way your perception is or what you're displaying out on in the public.
If a nigga come up to you and chastise you, the nigga want to fuck.
Of course. So then it goes back to not
vice versa.
Right. Then it goes back to you only being accepted by the title that you have been given, which is a thought.
I'm gonna ask this question to the men in the room. Would you take somebody home to meet a woman home to meet your mama if she had as much mileage as you do?
I've been there, done this. I fucked up.
But did you learn from it?
You motherfucker.
I'm gonna tell you the real bullshit about all that. 9 out of 10 men, if they knew their lady had as much sex as they did, or had as many different partners as they did, 9 out of 10 men ain't gonna take that woman.
Well, you know, I didn't think I was in a dark place at that time, but I'm just saying I didn't know till after the broom had got jumped in. I started realizing shit. Now, goddamn.
There should be a conversation that probably take place before you even get to that level.
I was dealing with somebody young.
Because if you,
a lot of people ain't gonna do that.
That's in a conversation phase. Because if you are sexually active or you enjoy sex, then that's a conversation. Because if you go to the health science or health class, they tell you if you have one partner and then you have another partner, you have to times that by 10.
Some
because
people are just fucking dots.
I mean, but that is true because if you have sex with one person, then you don't know who your partner had sex with because you wasn't there. They say you always multiply times 10.
I don't think nobody's looking at it. I'm just saying. When you talk about that, I mean, it's at a boundary, man. When you get married, you should not be out there fucking.
No, you should. Even if you're in a relationship, you shouldn't be doing that either.
Yeah.
Hey, Erica Payne Krause is fired up this evening.
I'm talking about for real.
She said, but why do you need to clean up your rep? I guess talking to Felicia, based on somebody else's views.
Right.
Hey, I know older folks that think wearing shorts above the knee is hoish. Do I need to clean that up?
And Erica, and to even piggyback off that, my neighbor who's in her 80s will talk about how she had different boyfriends back in her day. And I said, I can believe it.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, this is what really burn. This is what really burned my biscuits right here. And I hate to see this, but in the church, you got all these church mothers telling these young women how to do what they do, how they should be living. And in the church that I was in, you know, we got too many unwed mothers. In the church that I used to go to, most of them church mothers were unwed when they had their children.
Yeah, they were doing some old. They weren't listening to Luke Skywalker. They were doing whatever they did back in the day. Listen to goddamn the Isley Brothers or whatever, doing that shit.
Okay.
It goes back and forth.
Hold on, Felicia wants the chance to reply.
I want to answer your question, Erica. I was not saying about clean up your rep. I mean, when I say that, because you know if you are considered a thought because of your behavior or what you're doing. So when I say clean up, that means if you don't like how you're being approached or how you're being talked about, then maybe you have to do something with self-reflection on yourself to say, why am I getting called this title? So that's all I'm saying, because a lot of people do consider themselves not being a thought. But I mean, again, it's something that I feel like women and men should, you know, if you see this type of behavior being occurred, I think a conversation should take place. That's all I'm saying.
Everybody gonna have that conversation.
But I mean, I feel like in order to stop that behavior,
because the fucking taboo,
it's entertaining.
And I'm not gonna lie, being a man, it's gonna be a lot of niggas out there saying, "Hey, baby, okay, since we together, blah blah blah." How many people you done slept with?
I mean, if they gonna be honest, you know.
Right, but I'm speaking as a fucking man. Mm-hmm. He gonna sit there and be like, "Goddamn." Yeah, he might not show it, but inside, I mean, it's just real. I'm not saying I'm like that, but I'm just saying it's gonna be some dude. Well, goddamn.
It's gonna be one of those type of things. It's like if you don't ask me, I don't tell.
Erica just said something. She said, I can get behind that as long as that person feels like they need to change.
Right.
Not if folks are talking smack.
And I agree with that. Mm-hmm. I agree with that to a certain degree because I mentor a lot of young ladies. And if I see what they're doing is inappropriate, I go to them. I say that's not what you should be doing. And even some people my age does it. And I go to them, and they was like, you know, I'm just having fun. You know, I'm doing this, that, and the other. So I was like, until they accept it, I have to be okay with what they're doing because it's something that they choose to do. But you don't.
As long as people are honest, and that's so hard to say.
Yeah,
you know, I'm at that point in life that if you be 100 with somebody, yeah, the truth hurts, but it's hard whatever, man. You can.
I mean, and
nowadays, and just being older, I look at it as You know, you can get pussy or dick from anywhere.
You sure can.
But mind fuck me. What can you do? We can do that all goddamn night.
But
what else do you have to bring to the table? Because one way or another, I give a
but see,
rocks
that's
off.
based on the assumption that you want more than that.
Right. At what age
True.
do you stop?
But you're always out looking.
Which is where that whole, I'm saying, that whole type of thought, I'm saying, mentality.
Right, but you're always out
to get
looking.
yours because it's easy.
But you don't have to put yourself. I mean, but that's just. It's a slippery slope because everybody's different on that. And when it gets to that level and your experience on that level, that brought you.
Well, I mean, basically, like you said, as far as having that conversation, I mean, first of all, let's be clear. Everybody don't have that conversation.
Exactly.
Why? Because they're either
95% of the relationships
they're
don't
embarrassed,
have that
they're ashamed, they
Right.
don't.
They don't want people to know.
You know, because first impressions is a motherfucker.
Yes, they don't want people to know what I used to do.
So
I
hold
could have been.
on. Because Wayne just brought up a good question that I'm finna, interject in here. Why is it that people are ashamed about their sexuality?
They don't want to be labeled
Exactly.
because we're going back in this same circle.
Yep.
They don't want. You don't want to be labeled.
No.
You don't. I mean, that's as a human, you don't want to be labeled. But that's just the society and the culture we've been brought up in. Because you hear people talking bad about people, blah 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 blah. I don't want to be blah 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 and that.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
You don't want to.
I mean,
To piggyback off of what you said, Anton, is, Kurt Franklin said he had a sex addiction, and he got thrown to the fire about that. They was saying how he was not. They wanted to like cut his label from him because of
Everybody's
that.
human.
We
They put
are.
these people on pedestals because they do something else. Entertainer, pastor, preacher, politician, whatever. They're fucking human just like you and me. They have the same wants, desires, and craves
Yep, I
that you
agree.
do.
Yeah.
Nothing. That position doesn't make them any holier than thou or better. They have the same fucking feeling you got.
I agree totally. I agree with you 100%.
but it all depends, again, having that conversation up front.
Yeah,
I mean, like, what are you looking for?
Exactly.
In some situations, how many times have, say, your average situation where you trying to, I'm saying, like, you in a social gathering and you see somebody's cute, 9 times out of 10, you're saying, like, somebody that know that person.
Yeah.
Well, give or take what you're trying to do, when you start talking to that person, I mean, how many times have you heard, I didn't heard about you?
It depends on who you ask.
Right, but I'm just saying, you need to have that conversation up front. Hey, look, I'm trying to do whoop de whoop de woo, ABC, 1, 2, 3,
Yeah, you heard.
XYZ. If you going into it bullshitting from the beginning,
Right.
then I'm saying you can't be mad at the outcome.
I'll be honest. It depends on the setting. If I've been drinking or not. If I haven't been drinking,
You
I'll be
can't
like,
use that as an
But
excuse
no,
now.
I'm just saying. I just know.
Jamie Foxx, you
I'm
can't
just
blame
being-
that on alcohol.
No, I'm not blaming it on alcohol, but I'm just being honest. I can say that it will probably be a different. I'm mad enough to say it will probably more likely will be a different reaction to that question, to that person asking me if I was sober or drunk. I'm just being honest.
My bad, y'all. I apologize.
Yeah, you done put me on blast on the double reverb. But I'm just saying, I'm comfortable with who I am. If I was sober, be like, what do you mean? Who I am? Now, if I've been drinking, depending on the feeling of the day, what do you mean? I don't think I'm like
So would
that.
you tell a woman in the beginning, hey, look, I'm trying to get to know you, or I'm
Right.
trying to know you in the biblical sense in the next couple of hours?
Well, I'm not going to put my trade secrets out there.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I would go off I know how to read the, thank you.
Because most
Body
people,
language tell you everything.
Yeah,
I mean, most people say they can appreciate that honesty up front,
A lot of women say that.
but they can't.
That's true.
They can't.
Because
we say we want to do
sex
it, we
with
don't.
women is more,
I mean,
it's more mind, thank you, and melding.
because if you come at a woman straight up, if you come at her straight up, and within the first, 10, 15 minutes, you already let her know, look, I'm trying to hit. I'm saying, she probably going to look at you like, I can't believe he came at me this way. Well, bitch, everybody else did.
Hey, hold on. I'm finna read what Regina said. Regina said that's why folks are not in the church.
Agreed.
Don't feel comfortable coming to church because church folks try to hide what they have done in life.
I ain't trying.
Church folks need to be transparent. Example, if you are a former, she said former, but former thought, then why would you fix your mouth to say anything to the current thought?
Because that's they think that's what they holy in the
Because exactly what Anton said, because when you go to the church, people think you should already be cleansed, or you should already be walking the Christian life, the delivered life. But that's how a lot of people turn away from the church because of that.
Yeah, you get that person one good night out with the girls or the boys, and then let the truth come on back out.
The hypocrisy,
right?
Play the devil's advocate. I mean, how would you know if this person of a thought, or if you wasn't considered a thought?
They won't nobody know.
I mean, because, most of the old school
preachers. Thought to you.
It takes one to know one.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just playing the devil's advocate out there, but I agree with you, Regina.
I had to come back for what you said, Wayne, but I can't remember now.
I mean, what the old preacher used to say, well, talking about I used to be out there in the street, you know what I'm saying? I used to be a pimp, you know what I'm saying? I used to do it. Hey, I mean, it's all in.
Yeah, it's all in what you take, because they all get tempted. Yeah. There's somebody out there that's going to be like, hey, pastor. I even had a friend of mine that told me she has a single pastor friend that's in Nashville that talks about how, you know, the temptation is that he preaching and they ain't got no draws on and he preaching.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? What am I do with 2 more kids? I'm gonna tell you, such. We had to have a prayer healing session at the church. Yeah, I mean,
we need you to stay
away from right.
First and foremost, let's just put that shit out there.
Hallelujah. You know, you wonder why they always patting the brow, because they probably such down there showing that taco.
William said, in my experience, women will agree up front sometimes, but deep inside believe they can win the men over.
We're weak.
Yeah, once I give my taste, I can change all that.
And I would have to disagree, because I mean, that only can work for so long.
But you don't. I guess I understand why people got mad at Steve Harvey with him writing a book about men and shit. But you got, if you sit down and be honest with yourself, we're fucking weak.
Y'all are.
Real men are really weak for that sweet, that funky stuff.
Women are too, because I mean.
Yeah, but y'all gotta.
But the woman that gives it up that easy is not what the good men will consider.
But
right, but I'm just talking about not the pheromone. It's just and the women's role. It's just you could go up. It's just like one brought to me. I just think you. I said you damn right. You can go up to any Joe Blow and throw your wounds on him, and he could be the ugliest nigga and don't think that you can just go up to him and you could be like, man, I'm finna get this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he would be lapping like a fucking dog in the next 10 minutes with his fucking shit hard trying to conceal that shit because he's like, oh, she finna get. We're weak.
So hold on. Yeah, no, I agree. Men are most definitely weak, especially when it comes to the area of females. I mean, think about it, dude. I'm not gonna say most of, but you read stories about wars that have been fought over females. So when it comes down to it, and I'm finna ask this question: who are the bigger thoughts, men or women?
Men.
Men are.
Men?
The consensus says
men.
So when we start talking about, judging people, especially females, man, because y'all get a bad rap. Like, just to be perfectly honest with you, especially when it comes to issues of sexuality, y'all get a bad rap. But like, how do we start turning the tide on that? That's the question I asked before.
That's hard. I mean, that's hard. I mean, because the perception is what it is on how women are looked at and how men are looked at.
If it's not blunt, it's like some women don't leave enough things for the imagination. Right. It's just out there, and you guys being men, I feel like you guys gonna look. But if it's just something I said before. If it's not entertained, it's something that would not be in existence as much.
As my mom told me, she said the problem with marriage today, shit, a man can get it now.
Yeah, it's easy to get.
Shit, it's easy to get.
I think that's why.
Ain't shit for you to fucking wait on, the challenge, or blah, blah, blah. But men won't challenge. Well, most men do.
Yeah, and that's really probably what's, why it's hard to, be a relationship or, to find a partner, because it makes it easy to get, it's like, well, if she's not doing right, I can go over here.
Right. I can go and get
if she's acting up, I can go and do this because I know if I make that phone call, I can get it. Women use that same tool as well. But if her man acting up, they'll have somebody they can call on a rebound.
Ways,
so yes, it is.
That goes back to the cycle of us being dumb and then the bra can get out. So this is never in the cycle.
So
because she gonna call some dude, hey, I'm a lonely old dude up in there. Come over there. I mean, I done been in the cycle, man. We're stupid.
It's like before you find yourself getting to that point, I really honestly think a conversation should take place.
Well, it's hard for us because the blood comes from my head and the feet and make us dumb and we can't walk.
Right. But I mean, after that mistake is made, then is it worth jeopardizing what you built or what you had?
But when you got that blood flow going to that motherfucking orifice and shit, and this motherfucker talk, the older you get, you can get it. But when you about that man's age and up to them 30s, you got to talk yourself off the ledge real. It's got to be some deep soul searching. Because at that age, that nigga's like, motherfucker, what? And you like, hell yeah.
I mean, yeah. I think that's on how it's going to break the cycle of the thoughts, though.
All right. So, we're going to go ahead and wrap the show up. You know, it's been just about an hour. We appreciate everybody that tuned in and watching with us.
I survived this topic because I didn't make it one-sided because I don't feel one-sided.
No,
I'm comfortable enough saying we're fucking.
It's
I
not a
knew what
one-sided
the
issue.
fuck I used to do and how I used to manipulate just to get what the fuck I wanted.
Yeah. I mean, dude, 9 out of 10 people have manipulated somebody to get some sex from them.
Yeah.
So at some time or another, 9 out of 10 people have manipulated somebody to get sex. But all right, we're gonna close the topic out. And we may revisit this one day. Maybe next time the Queen will want to get on. Anyway. Felicia, you got some shout outs you want to do? And thank you for being on the show too. Appreciate you. Appreciate you having a female voice on the show. But you got some shout outs you want to do?
No shout outs. Just if you guys are going to do the Tennessee tax this next weekend, so get out and get
tax free weekend.
Get out and get
Wait a minute.
It's early and early, ain't it?
Because school starts back August the 10th. Registration
That
is
shit gonna
August
be
the
in
7th.
January. That shit gonna be after Christmas shopping next year.
I'm go out and see what I can get. I'm gonna get some clothes.
I'm going Christmas shopping and school shopping the same damn week.
Man, what you said, man?
I just encourage, everybody that's watching, we got some work to do.
I'm taking advantage of all this.
Wow, you got some shout outs you want?
Shout out to Benny B.
Alright, RGB.
Yeah, and I have, it's been a while to give a shout out to, like I always do, coming up on a kind of crazy long weekend, but let's get this another week. Party people, do what you got to do for your family and everybody. Get up, get out, get something. Have a good week.
I'm going to close it out with my shout outs. First of all, thank everybody for watching, listening, participating in the conversation. We really appreciate y'all tuning in. Shout out to the Queen who decided to sit this one out. Got to shout out my church family in Nashville. I was up there yesterday, and I always get love when I'm there. Miss y'all, love y'all. JL Studios, best tattoo artist in Chattanooga, John Lindsay. Go hit him up if you need a tattoo. Menlo Park Grocery Store, the homie Sean Daniels. Go by there, spend $1 or $2. They're on Germantown Road.
Bring back wings.
Lemon pepper wings. Sean, if you watching, we need the lemon pepper wings, homie.
Summertime, nigga, we're playing.
And I think that's pretty much going to do it for my shout outs this week, because I'm going to keep them brief. So I'm going to close out with this word right here. Because I've just been listening to the conversation, jotting down a few things, right? And as we talked about, and I asked the question, who was the bigger thought, or who was the bigger whore, or who were the, who were more to blame, men or women, in terms of thottish behavior? Everybody said men, right? But women tend to be the ones to get that negative stigma put on them, and it seems to last, right? And part of the problem is people are so caught up in being judgmental. We got to get away from being judgmental against our brothers and our sisters, right? Because this judgment is not doing anything but dividing us and spreading us thin. when we're supposed to be at a time when we're coming together, right? And there's a quote that it brought to mind that I put up on my door when I was working at Howard Middle School. It said, the only person that you have the right and the ability to change is yourself.
That's right.
So you got to change your thinking. We got to change our thinking, because all of us have not been accused, but all of us have been guilty of calling somebody out of their name.
But
all of us have been guilty. I mean, you know, nobody really knows how to define the term whore. What makes somebody a whore versus not a whore, right? And we talked about it, but there's a very loose definition that we gave that could span a whole bunch of different stuff, and it could be either refuted or it could be revised or whatever. But however, we got to get away from judging each other, and we got to start getting to where we're unifying. Because the more you start judging people, and the more we continue to judge people, that's the worse off we're gonna be as a people.
Right.
So now we got to realize that we got to be honest with ourselves that we can't continue to be like this. We can't continue to live like this. We are a people that were called from greatness, and if we stoop to low moral character, our greatness gets diminished. So I want to see all of us rise, be great, and be everything that we're supposed to be. However, we gotta be honest with ourselves, and we gotta stop judging. That's all I got for y'all. Y'all have a good week. Appreciate y'all watching. Thank you for tuning in. Next week, the show topic, I got it, but I'm not going to release it to the middle of the week. I might do another little commercial or whatever. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. It's About Time Show. Y'all have a good evening, and bye.
I was going to say, the only exception to the rule, if you had a transvaginal mesh, I'm not fucking with you.
Oh, transvaginal.